Welcome to everyone. We would like to thank for coming into this beautiful shul, Beit Eliyahu, to learn Hashem's Torah, that we should grow from this shiur, and the year until Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur should finish successfully, Be'ezrat Hashem. I would like to thank our organization ביחד שגדלו בתורה ומצוות ומעשים טובים וכן יהי רצון ונאמר אמן. This shiur should be רפואה שלמה to our dear friend Avraham Chaim ben Yocheved. Hashem should give him רפואה שלמה, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף. Should be many miracles. Tomorrow morning you should get up וכן יהי רצון ונאמר אמן. And לעילוי נשמת בריס יצחקוב בן שרה and Moshe, Ruach Hashem tanichenu b'Gan Eden. We would like to thank Baruchov family for sponsoring. Thank you. And of course, I want to appreciate the president of this beautiful shul. It's an amazing job. I'm here first time, and it's a beautiful place. Makom Kadosh. Mare Zatra, Rabbi Tabibov. Hashem should give them bracha v'atzlacha v'chen yhi ratzon v'namar amen. This week's parsha, Parashat Shelach. Moshe Rabbeinu is asking Hashem if he should send 12 spies to go and see the land, if they like it, if they want to be there, just to investigate. But spies, when they went to see the land, they saw different picture. As they entered the land, they saw many funerals. The land is very hot. They don't know where to go. They saw too many giants. One of the giants ate one pomegranate, threw the shell on the floor. 10 of them used it as a blanket. They went inside, they covered themselves. And they said, listen, it's impossible for us to live here. All these people are giants. We can't even fight against them. Forget about us. Even Hashem himself will decide to take vessels out of this land. He won't be able to. When person in this world sees some strange things and he thinks this is stronger than Hashem, how do we call this in our language? Avodah zara, idol worshipping. You can't have nothing stronger than Hashem. So the question is, what happened here? 12 Gedolei Ador, 12 great people, greatest of that generation, students of Moshe Rabbeinu. They're going to see the land, and they became Kofer Beikar, Apikoros, people who bow down to idol. How is this possible? This is our question. If you remember, past 2 weeks, you see this beautiful advertisement. What's the question of the topic? Today's topic is what to strive for. Everyone, when he reaches age 20, 21, 22, he wants to get married. Question is why? Then he wants to have children. Why? Children grow, you want to put them in yeshiva. Why? You work hard, you pay for yeshiva. Why? What do you want from yeshiva to give to your child? What do you want your child to be in the end of the day? Who are you trying to build here? What are you trying to get back? Once we have a goal, what do we strive for? Everything becomes easy. Everything fits then in the place. Parsha starts, Shelach lecha anashim. Moshe, Hashem says, I don't want you to send them. But if you want to send, for your benefit, send people. 12 spies are going. How did Moshe Rabbeinu send them? Look at the first 3 letters. Shelach, Shin. Lecha, Lamed. Anashim, Aleph. First letter Shin, Lamed, Aleph comes out to word Eshel. Where did we remember the word Eshel from? Eshel Avram. Achila, Shtiya, Lina. Avram Avinu, when guests would come to his house, he would give them eat, drink, and sleep in their house. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, I don't want you to go to see the land. But if you're going, go with the eyes of Avram Avinu, eyes of Torah. Go to see the land with the Kedusha. He prepares them. Why would you prepare them? Let's say, if they would come and they say, land is good, tomorrow they enter, what would happen to Moshe Rabbeinu? He would have to leave the world. Because Moshe Rabbeinu cannot enter Eretz Israel. So he would die at the age of 80. Once they are speaking bad about the land, what happens? They're staying in the desert for how long? 40 more years. So Moshe Rabbeinu lives 40 more years. This is why Hashem said, Shelach lecha anashim. Send people for you, for your benefit. If they will speak Lashon Hara, you will have 40 more years to live in desert with them. But the question is, what happened to them that they saw evil things in the land, that they didn't want to be there? We remember these people are presidents, chief of the tribe. They said, we don't want to go to immigration again and start from beginning. We don't want to suffer. Why do we need to go to the zero? Let's say if you already established your life in New York, in America, you don't want to go to Spain, starting from scratch. You don't know streets, you don't know language, you don't know nothing, you don't know how to make parnasa. So these tribes, they didn't want to start from beginning. They said, now we're presidents. Who will be servants? We don't want to do that. This is the reason they spoke bad. One thing we should know in this world, anytime I'm going to do something important, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, tribe that I'm coming from, he is with me. He's supporting me with it. If I am fulfilling my mission, he's giving me bracha and I'm being successful. But if chas v'shalom, I'm not fulfilling my mission, he says, I'm sorry, you on your own. I can't be there with you. When Moshe Rabbeinu sends them, Torah says, Ish echad, lemate avotav tishlachu. One man you should be sending. If they're sending 12 people, if we call it one man, there's 2 per person. So it comes out 24 people. Who are the other 12? Original Shvatim. The president of the tribe of Reuven had above him the neshama of Reuven. President of the tribe of Yosef had Yosef HaTzadik above him. Every one of them had their own tribe. As soon as they spoke Lashon Hara, 10 of them lost it. The tribe said, I'm sorry, I don't want to be there with you. Once you speak Lashon Hara, I don't want to be there with you. What caused them to speak Lashon Hara? This is why we're here tonight. On the last day of Pesach, I opened Sefer by the name Mima'ayanot HaNetzach, Pirkei Avot. And I saw something. I said to myself, if I don't record this, it's avera to forget it. So tonight is the first time that we're putting this in recording. When you want to eat apple, what do you say? Baruch Ata Hashem. You say, blessed are you, Hashem. Look what Pirkei Avot says. Perek Gimel Mishnah Aleph. Third chapter, first Mishnah. Da lifnei, da me'ayin bata. You should know where you come from, what you come from. Ul'an ata olech, and where are you going? Velifnei mi ata yiten din vecheshbon. In front of who one day you'll be giving judgment. And Mishnah says, where do we come from? A dirty drop of water. Ulan ata olech, where are you going to? Where are we going after 120? In the place where there's snakes and scorpions, all the worms. And in front of whom we're standing to give the judgment? In front of Hashem. Comes Rabbi Moshe Mikobrin. Rabbi Moshe Mikobrin says amazing thing. He says, Da me'ayin bata. Before you make a bracha, you take an apple, you want to make a bracha? Before you make a bracha, think, who am I? What am I coming from to tell Hashem Ata? Hashem who created the whole world. Who am I to say Hashem Ata? Baruch Ata, blessed are you. Who am I to say to Hashem? You. That first question you should be thinking about. When you make a bracha, who am I? I'm nobody. Second question, Velifne ul'an ata olech, and where your ata goes. When you bless Hashem, your ata, your blessing goes straight to Hashem's chair, into the kisei kavod. Ul'an ata olech. When I know my bracha, my blessing, reaches Hashem's chair, I'll be very careful to make a bracha. And not Baruch Melech Haolam. People just rush through the bracha. Say Baruch Ata Hashem. I'm thinking, I'm blessing Hashem right now, and my bracha goes straight to Hashem's chair. Kisei kavod. Ul'an ata olech. Where this ata goes? Straight to Hashem's chair. And the third one, Velifnei mi ata atid liten din vecheshbon. And this ata, since I know that I'm saying in front of Hashem, I have to first prepare my body, put my concentration in the place before I make a bracha. 1 second, who am I blessing now? I have to prepare myself with concentration, and then you make Baruch Ata Hashem. So what do we learn from here? When you bless Hashem, it reaches to Hashem's chair. When you talk, it reaches to Hashem's chair. If Meraglim would know that they're going to speak Lashon Hara and this will reach till Hashem's chair, that they're crying for no reason, and because of this we have problem of Tisha B'Av throughout the generations, they would think twice. What are we saying? Is it proper to say that? Maybe we're doing something that causes a trauma for generations. They would think twice and they would not say Lashon Hara. We speak about Ata. When you look at the Hebrew alphabet, first letter is what? Aleph. Put dash. Last letter is Tav. And how many sofits do we have? 5. Men natzpach, mem safit, nun safit, tzadi safit, pei safit, kav safit. 5 is Gematria Hey. Ata has all the letters in it, from Aleph to Tav, and 5 sofits. We say, Hashem, when I bless you, when I say Baruch Ata Hashem, I bless you with all the letters of the alphabet. Whatever words you want to make for yourself, Hashem, everything is in front of you, except the best tefillah from my mouth. We still did not scratch the beginning of the question. Why did they speak Lashon Hara? Before I'll go to this why, I want to explain you what Lashon Hara is. Let's imagine Moshe Rabbeinu on 29th of Sivan sending 12 presidents of the tribes. How long did they speak Lashon Hara? Tell me please. How many days they went for? 40 days. 8th, 9th, Tisha B'Av, they come back. How long did they speak Lashon Hara? 15 minutes. Fine, 15 minutes they spoke Lashon Hara. They said the land is bad, this is this is that. 15 minutes speaking Lashon Hara. How long they thought to speak Lashon Hara? How many? 40 days. Rav Chaim Shmulevich says, because they were thinking to speak Lashon Hara for 40 days, it's considered as if they spoke Lashon Hara for 40 days and we're suffering in desert for 40 years. Thinking about Avera, it's not less than Avera itself. So when a person is thinking to do a mitzvah, even though he doesn't do a mitzvah, because something happens, still considered as if he did mitzvah. Look how Lashon Hara is so deep. 15 minutes end up with 40 years. Why? This 15 minutes is considered 40 days, which we suffered for 40 years. How a person should be careful to what he says. A lot of times, you see person keeps mitzvot not so happy. You say, what happened? A few days ago, a few months ago, I made certain avera. It didn't work out good, and now I'm worried about it. Torah says, Shelach lecha anashim. Send your other people away. What does that mean, other people? Every day we come to this world, we come as new person. Today I'm a new person. Yes, that was different person. Before, yes, that was different. So whatever I did yesterday, I should not be worried about and not to continue keeping Torah or mitzvot. Shelach lecha anashim. Take your stress away from you. You make teshuvah, believe in your teshuvah, and grow on with life. Don't stay. Don't keep yourself back. Continue growing in life. When spies came to the land, who died that day? Eov. Eov passed away. They were waiting. Whoever used to pass away in the land of Canaan, in land of Eretz Israel, they would never bury them. They would say, wait until somebody prophet passes away, and then we'll take all the bodies together. Eov passed away that day. All the people took their relatives who passed away before, and they kept in their houses. They took their bodies and they went straight to the cemetery. So when the spies came, they saw 1,000 people being buried a day. They said, what is going on here? We don't want like this land. This land is eating its own people. We don't want this land. They should have looked at it with different eye. Hashem, you're so good. These people are giants, and you taking them away for us. You're preparing the land for us. Thank you, Hashem. Instead of thanking Hashem, they're complaining. One day, there was a bus driver in Israel, and he was driving kids from Shchunat Abucharim to their yeshiva. When he was driving kids to their yeshiva, kids would make so much noise. And the bus driver, even though he's working for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, he couldn't handle it. He comes to the menahel and he says, I'm sorry, I don't want to work in your yeshiva. It's too much. Kids are screaming and yelling. I can't handle this. Menahel said, how much you make already a month? $1,000. I'll give you $1,200. $1,200 I'll pay you. He says, I'm sorry, I cannot handle it. He says, fine, 13. He says, you don't understand, it's not the money. Too much screaming and yelling of these kids. I don't want to deal with them. He said, you know what? Let's go to Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul. Whatever Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul says, we will do. He said, okay. They came to Rav Ben Zion, this bus driver starts screaming and said, you don't understand, Rabbi. For 45 minutes, these kids scream and yell, there's traffic, it's from everywhere, I cannot handle this anymore. Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul looked at him and said, my friend, I want to explain you one thing. Your bus, your school bus, is like Aron HaKodesh. 45 students that you have on your bus, these are 45 Sefer Torahs. You're taking Sefer Torah in your Aron HaKodesh and you bring them to yeshiva to learn. And they learn Torah because of your bus. He looked at it and says, wow, this I never thought. That my bus is Aron HaKodesh and these kids are Sefer Torahs? He says, no. I'm going back. But I looked at the principal, to the manal, and said, listen, but it stays 1,300. I'm willing to take the 300 extra as well. I'm not trying to give in on that. What's the point over here? We're trying to understand. The same standard, how you look at a simple table, the same standard, different person looks like Olam Haba. I put my Gemara here and I learn Gemara. The same chair that we look at, okay, simple chair. One beautiful example is when we take out Sefer Torah, what Goy looks at it? How Goy looks at Sefer Torah? Oh, cow's skin. How do we look at Sefer Torah? Hashem's names written on this. Many Hashem's names written on this. And the whole Sefer Torah, according to Ramban, is one big Hashem's name. So the way you look at things, this is very important. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he was sending spies, says, guys, be careful. You're going to the land of Eretz Israel, Eretz Canaan. You have to be very careful to see with a special eye. Learn like Avraham Avinu look at things. If you will not look at things properly, you might collapse in your Kedusha, and this is what happened to them. We know evil things in this world are called Sitra Achara, Yetzer Hara, Malach HaMavet, Averot. All these, how do we call them? Sitra Achara. The month of Tammuz is the name of Avodah Zarah. The month of Tammuz is the name of idol. Where do we know this from? When you open Book of Yechezkel, chapter 8, sentence 14, it says, Vayave oti el petach sha'ar bet Hashem, asher el tzafona, והנה שם הנשים יושבות מבכות את התמוז. In the translation, Yechezkel HaNavi says, next, he brought me to the entrance of the north gate of the house of Hashem, Azara, and there sat the woman crying for Tammuz. What is Tammuz? What's the name coming up next week? Month of Tammuz. Do you know the word Tammuz is Avodah Zarah? It's idol. Why do we call month Tammuz? There was an idol. Inside, they would put heat there. In the eyes of the idol, they would put lead. And woman would burn the wood. Wood would get hot. The heat would melt the lead in the eyes, and the tears would fall down from this Tammuz. When men would come there, women would cry and say, look, the Tammuz is crying because it needs some idols. Please bring some sacrifice for this Tammuz. I'll tell you, if I wouldn't read it inside, I wouldn't believe it myself. Tammuz? Jewish month? We take from idol? What's going on here? Comes Rambam, Radak quotes Rambam, and he says there's another version to understand what Tammuz is. There was a person, he was big prophet, Goy, and his name was Tammuz. This Goy calls the king and he says, King, I want you to bow down to 7 stars and 12 mazalot to 12 months. King got angry, says, you will tell me who to bow down to? he kills this Tammuz. When it was on the first day of month of Tammuz. When he kills him, all the idols get together by the gate of Babylon. Hechal Bavel. They get together. Why? Because by the gate over there, there's a big image of golden sun. They would all gather there, and they would cry for Tammuz. That day, they cried till the morning. Because they cried till the morning, in the morning, they were spread everywhere. They said, now you could go. But from then and on, it's known fact that this month of Tammuz is taken under the rulership of Sitra Achara. Now I know why every year we enter summer, we look twice, we say 1 second. What do I have to be careful from? Of course I have to be careful when I'm driving, vacations, biking. More than that, I have to be careful with my eyes. Maybe I'll be looking at things that I'm not supposed to be looking. And that tzaddik that enters the summer will not sometimes remain tzaddik when he finishes the summer. The way the Meraglim went to see Eretz Yisrael's Kodesh Kodoshim, when they returned, they fell in many, many levels. So month of Tammuz teaching us to be very careful, because this month is taken by the other power, by Sitra Achara, and even half of next month of Av also taken, but it begins under Tammuz. So Moshe Rabbeinu tries to warn the people and says, listen, come away, I want to tell you something. Tonight is 29th of Sivan. Tomorrow morning, he says, is Rosh Chodesh Tammuz. You're going to see the land. Be careful, because this month and the half of next month are taken by the other power, by Sitra Achara, by Yetzer Hara. Therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu says in this week's parsha, "Ve'itchazaktem ulkachtem mipnei haaretz." Be strong and take from the fruits of the land. Vayamim yimei bikurei anavim. And that was the days when the first grapes were grown. Comes Rabbi Shimshon Me'Astropoli, and he says, what means bikurei anavim? If you take the word anavim, ayin, nun, bet, and mem, this is anavim. Bikurei from the word bechor, firstborn. What means firstborn? Before that. Let's look at the word anavim, grapes. Which letters coming before these letters? Before ayin comes samech. Before nun comes mem. Before bet comes aleph, and before mem comes lamet. Samech, mem, aleph, lamet. This is the name of the angel that fought with Yaakov Avinu. This is the name of the Sitra Achara. This is the name of the king of the evil powers. Samech Mem they call him. We're not allowed to call him fully. Where it comes from? Vayamim yimei bikurei anavim. Moshe Rabbeinu is already giving hint to the Meraglim. Guys, you're going to see the land. You have to be very careful. This month is taken by the other power. You have to be very strong. Ve'itchazaktem ulkachtem mipnei haaretz. What pri haaretz? Mitzvot. Before you enter month of Tammuz, you have to be strong in emunah. You have to be strong in keeping mitzvot. Ve'itchazaktem. You have to be strong. So this month of Tammuz with the Sitra Achara should not break you. Unfortunately, we see what happened to them. Chafetz Chaim brings a beautiful mashal for this. Once, there was an auction. Somebody was selling his house. So he said, if for $500,000 I sell it, 500,000, I'm good for it. So he went 300, 400, 5. Somebody got up from the back crowd, says 600,000. The owner looks at him and says, you know what? I would sell 600,000, but not to you. I don't want to sell it to you. He says, listen to me. I'm offering the money, give me the house. He says, yes, but not to you. So he says, fine. Sell me for 600,000, half of your house. He says, you know what? I would sell it, but not to you. This guy says, what? Wow. Okay, he says, sell me for 100,000, one room of your house. He says, I would, but not to you. The guy gets angry. He says, fine. I will give you $100,000. Can you let me have one nail on your wall? He thinks, he says, just to hit one nail inside my wall, $100,000. Says, that I would do. Okay. He took a nail, came with a hammer. He says, where should I put the nail? The guy said, I want to put it somewhere that I don't see at all. In Bukhari Vasil, na binam na sozam. He says, I'll take it, put it somewhere inside the door. So what he says, come bring it inside my bedroom. So he takes the nail and he hits inside the bedroom on the wall. Husband and wife couldn't believe, foolish guy, for $100,000, he paid $100,000 just to have one nail on the wall. At 2 o'clock in the morning, they were sleeping. Somebody's knocking on the door. Husband gets up, says, what's going on? He says, listen, I want to hang my suit on that nail. He says, oh my God, don't tell me he's not going to let me sleep now because of this nail. 2 days later, he knocks again. 3 o'clock in the morning, the whole family gets up, says, what are you screaming? He says, I want to take my suit. Tomorrow morning I have bar mitzvah to go to. I need my suit now. He says, okay, I mean, you don't have to knock so hard. But he says, I need the suit. For like 2-3 weeks later, already this couple, they cannot sleep normally. They're feeling to be regretting that they sold to have that nail on the wall. Like 3 weeks later, he saw that nail is shaking. 4 o'clock in the morning, he comes with a hammer and starts banging. The owner says, hey, excuse me, you're bothering my family sleeping. What are you doing? He says, but nail is very loose. I need to make it hard. I can't, I have to put it strong. He says, you know what, come over here. Stop everything. How much money you want to buy for a house? He says, 600,000. How much you gave me? He says, 100. Bring me 500 right now, I'll sell it to you. The whole house, just take it. Because of what, asks Chafetz Chaim? Because of one nail. If you will let, starting from Tammuz, even today, if you will let Yetzer Hara come a little bit, one drop into your body, he will take you fully. The way that nail happened. Chafetz Chaim. I would like to share with you something nice. Gemara, Avodah Zarah, Chaf Amud Bet, 20b, says, who is Malach HaMavet? How does it look like? How Malach HaMavet looks like? And Gemara says, it's an angel, the whole body full of eyes, has eyes everywhere. Comes Rav Nasson Adler, and he says, not true. Malach HaMavet does not have eyes everywhere in his body. Do you know who's Malach HaMavet? Malach HaMavet who comes to you with the album, shows you when he took your picture, when you were looking at different things in life. He has full of eyes. It doesn't mean his body is full of eyes. He has picture of the eyes that you did not look properly. Whatever you looked, what you're not supposed to be looking, he was taking all the pictures. His millions pictures for what we did in our life. To what we saw, what we didn't see. And Malach HaMavet brings it. Gemara scares a little bit. I'm not going to scare you today, but if you give me permission, I would. Gemara says when person is about to die, he looks at Malach HaMavet with this such huge album. Malach HaMavet shows the pictures to him. From fear, he says, oh, opens his mouth. Then Malach HaMavet puts 2 drops of green poison and takes his neshama away. This is the reason why a person's face turns green when he leaves the world. I don't want to go deeper to that because you need to fall asleep tonight. In Sefer Iyov, it says, Vayhi Hayom, regarding Rosh Hashanah. On Rosh Hashanah, all the Bnei Elokim, all the Malachim, go to the judgment. Suddenly comes like Shimshon HaGibor, a powerful Malach. Who is this? Satan. Hashem says, you so strong, so powerful on Rosh Hashanah, you're not afraid? My children made teshuvah already. Why are you coming so powerful? And where you got so much strength from? He says, when few months ago, starting from Tammuz and Av, Jewish nation have vacations, they walk around and they look at things they're not supposed to be looking, I'm taking their energy away to me. This is where I have my power from. So this shiur that we have today, we have to go through it a few times to understand and analyze where we're entering. Month of Tammuz. If person is going to keep himself in Bekedusha and Tahara and not look what he's not supposed to be looking and connect himself with Torah and Mitzvot, he will gain double this year. Why? Once you know, if I don't keep something, can you imagine? You woke up 6 o'clock in the morning. You went to sleep at 1 o'clock. You slept only 5 hours. You had to get up in the middle to make barrels for your children. And you go for shacharit. When you davening, during your tefillah, you're thinking of something not supposed to be thinking about. What happens? The whole sacrifice at night, the whole sacrifice you waking up and wearing tefillin and praying now, all this power goes to where? To the other side, to sitra chara. This malach says, Yetzer Hara says, oh thank you. All your might I will keep to me, and with this itself I'm going to hurt you. So when person, he takes it into consideration, and he thinks twice, 1 second, what am I looking at? What am I thinking? Hashem knows everything. We keep it to ourselves. And then we come on Rosh Hashanah. We come strong like Shimshon HaGibor. And our malach comes like this. Why? Because we protect our eyes. And we were connecting ourselves to Torah. Now I could go back to the question that I asked before. What is our mission in this world? What do we strive for? We begin somewhere and we're going totally to a different direction. What is our mission? What do I strive for? Why I wake up in the morning? Why I want to get married? Why I want to have children? Why I want to pay for my children's yeshiva? Why I send my kids to yeshiva? What's the goal? What's the point? The answer is Meraglim. When they went to see the land, they don't have something I do. You know what they don't have? They didn't have mitzvah tzitzit. I do. Torah says, Uri'item oto, uzchartem et kol mitzvot. Look at tzitzit and remember all the mitzvot. Why? Because the only way you can connect yourself to Hashem is by keeping Torah or mitzvot. Tzitzit, how much comes out? Tzadik yud, tav, 600. Tzadik is 90, yud is 10. Tzi, 100, and another tzi, 100. 200, tav is 400, 600. Tzitzit has 5 knots and 8 strings. 5 and 8, 13, 613. When you wear tzitzit, you connect yourself with 613 mitzvot. Somebody tells me, how should I remember we have 613 mitzvot? I said, look at your fingers. How many fingers do you have? It says 10. Why? 6, 1, 3. 6, 1, 7, and 3, 10. 613 mitzvot. Men looking at me say, oh, Baruch Hashem, I have tzitzit. Women looking at me say, well, we don't have this. Yeah, you do. When you wash your husband's tzitzit, you should think, oh, I want to connect myself with his 613 mitzvot as well. What do we strive for? I send my kids to yeshiva. My kid goes to shul, and I talk to him, no, what did you learn today in shul? What did Rabbi speak about? He says, Rabbi spoke this and this, and I say, you know what, he spoke good, but I could have said something better. What I did, I put the Torah while you're down. What do we strive for? To keep the Torah while you're up. We need to look at the world from the eyes of Torah. You can't look at the world without using Torah first. Hashem created first Torah. By looking at the Torah, He created the world. Meraglim said, guys, leave the Torah alone. Let's look practical life. Now we're presidents. Tomorrow we'll be like homeless people. We don't want to do that. They thought they're becoming homeless and they didn't want to look with the eyes of Torah. And they became really homeless. But when a person looks at the world from the eyes of Torah, he will never lose. Why? Because Torah is the only thing that stays forever. Chafetz Chaim says something scary. I didn't want to tell you, but I hope you don't get scared. What did they say? This land eats its own people, inhabitants. Chafetz Chaim is asking a question, how it happens? One day, somebody comes to Chafetz Chaim and says, Rabbi, give me a letter, permission. I want to go to America. Chafetz Chaim says, what happened with Europe? What's in America? He says, you don't understand. Here, life is so hard. I barely make money. I barely put dollar on top of dollar. I go to America, I'll be rich. Chafetz Chaim said, let me explain you something. He says, when owner buys a duck, you know duck? Utka. It gives duck so much food to eat. Duck says, wow, here is a good place for me to be. I eat good and I'm becoming big. Duck does not know. Owner tries to make him fat for who? For his own benefit, not for the duck's benefit. Chafetz Chaim said, you'd rather stay with the small money in Europe than going to America and being a big guy over there. If over there you'll be a big guy, you're not going to be for yourself, you're going to be for the owner. So be very careful. When you look at things with the Torah eye, you'll be successful. I'll tell you a final story today, and I'll conclude with that. There was a father. He had 3 sons. He runs to the rabbi's house and says, Rabbi, I feel I'm going to die soon. The rabbi said, why? He says, I feel like they already sent, they were saying Lasha Paveska. They sent the letter already. They want me to go. So he says, here's the money. He says, what is this? $10,000. Rabbi said, why? He says, please keep it, I'll tell you why. So Rabbi took the money. He says, as soon as I pass away, put this money in my coffin. So when I'll go to that world, when Mashiach comes, I'll get up, I'm going to use this $10,000. Rabbi said, can I ask you a question? You have 3 sons, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Give the money to them. Why are you giving to me? He says, no. My sons, they love so much money. They're not going to give me $1 if I give them this. Even $1 they're not going to give me. Rabbi looked at him and said, can I tell you good news? He says, what? Since you raised certain kids that they wouldn't give $1 to their father, person like you will not get up when Mashiach comes. So they have nothing to worry about it. Why it happened that way? The answer is, if you live in your life only money is the main thing, what your son will say? Money is the main thing. Who cares about parents? Who cares about relatives? Who cares about people? Money is the main thing. But when you teach your child, my son, money is good to have, but the Torah is the main thing. You should give money away for the Torah learning. So you should grow in Torah. Only then you'll have children Talmidei Chachamim. When you value Torah, your son will value Torah. When you value Kavod Torah, your son will value Kavod Torah. So Hashem should help us to strive. We have 2.5 months, maybe 3 months left for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that we should come and say, Hashem, my year didn't go through so simply. I did work on myself. I know the value of Torah. Look at this, almost 10 o'clock at night. You all exhausted. You went to work today. And you come here to learn Torah. This is what your son knows. I will call your house now. He's going to say, my father and mother are in shiur now. They're learning Torah. This is the wealth. Once you show your child, no matter how tired you are, you went to learn Torah, this is what we strive for. And then, the fact that you send your son to yeshiva, you pray for him, and you show him how important Torah learning for you, he will become Talmid Chacham. And he should become Talmid Chacham. Hashem should help us to go over through month of Tammuz and have a wow. After Tu B'Av already, it's different world of happiness. We're already on ourselves, and Hashem should elevate us. B'Torah u'b'mitzvot u'ma'asim tovim v'chen yehi ratzon v'nomar amen.